1991. Operation Desert Storm. And Belzona Super Metal is there, repairing tanks and aircraft. Over 6,000 Super Metal repair kits were sent to the Persian Gulf to keep the fighting machines of our armed forces in action. Your operation can also be severely hindered by untimely breakdowns. And Belzona Super Metal can come to your aid fast, allowing you to repair damaged shafts, worn bearing housings, keyways and splines, leaking pipes and tanks, in the field or in the shop within hours for a fraction of the cost of new parts. This easy-to-use polymer composite is available to you through Rumford Industrial Group. For more information, call 1-800-336-2827. It worked there. It will work here. Belzona Metals, the proven solution for fast, cost-effective machinery and equipment repairs. The owners of this famous luxury liner faced 3 weeks of dry dock time to complete the extensive rudder repairs required by the shipyard inspector. This meant cancellation of a profitable holiday cruise. At this power plant, these circulating water pumps were severely worn. Replacement costs would be over $1.25 million. What do these two diverse problems have in common? Both were solved quickly and cost-effectively using Belzona Super Metals from the repair system. The oversized pintle housing of the luxury liner was repaired in less than 24 hours for 10% of the cost of welding and line boring. A further measure of success is that this repair is still in service after more than 12 years. The power plant repaired the impellers with Belzona metals instead of replacing them. This saved the utility over $900,000. Additionally, the repaired and coated impellers improved efficiency and lowered operating costs. This same Belzona technology and engineering know-how, utilizing the complete machinery and equipment repair system, has been used by industries in over 50 countries around the world since 1952 and is available to you through Rumford Industrial Group, an exclusive authorized Belzona distributor. There are literally hundreds of applications for Belzona metals. This shaft was damaged by a bearing failure. The traditional solution would be an expensive replacement, which could take days or weeks to obtain. However, this repair was made in a few hours using less than $20 worth of Belzona Super Metal. First, the area to be repaired is cleaned using Belzona's cleaner degreaser. If the metal is impregnated with oil or grease, it is best to also sweat the area with a low temperature flame and degrease again. Next, undercut the shaft a minimum of 60 thousandths per side and machine a rough thread pattern at approximately 20 threads per inch, 25 thousandths deep. The area is then flooded with Belzona cleaner degreaser again to remove any remaining grease or oil and let dry for 1 to 2 minutes. Belzona Super Metal is then mixed according to easy-to-understand instructions which are included in every repair system. You'll also find a convenient mixing board and material safety data sheets that comply with OSHA's requirements. Measure out the proper quantity of super metal in a ratio of 3 parts base to 1 part solidifier, being as accurate as possible. Mix until the super metal has a uniform gray color which is free of streaks. The working life of the mixture is 20 minutes at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Wipe off the spatula to remove any unmixed material. Allow the shaft to rotate in the lathe at a speed of 30 to 40 RPMs. Using the spatula, apply a small amount of super metal to the prepared area, pressing it well into the thread pattern. Next, obtain the proper buildup of super metal by adding additional material to the shaft. Apply enough so the buildup will be at least 1/16 of an inch above the shaft diameter for a machining allowance. Now, using the wide straight edge of the Belzona applicator held slightly below center and angled down, apply gentle pressure to the super metal. This step forces out any entrapped air and smooths the material. Again, be sure to leave a buildup of at least 1/16 of an inch to avoid low spots. The super metal will cure to machining hardness in approximately 1.5 to 2 hours at 70 degrees. A heat gun placed 10 to 12 inches from the shaft as it rotates in the lathe will solidify the super metal in 15 to 20 minutes. Cool the shaft before machining to maintain tolerances. Turn down the super metal using carbide tooling following the same procedure as you would in machining steel or cast iron. And finish to the required dimension by polishing with a fine emery cloth. The shaft is now ready for assembly. Follow the schedule on the directions to determine how soon the repair will be ready for full service. The following demonstration illustrates the outstanding adhesion of Belzona supermetal. Shafts that are difficult to remove or present machining problems can be repaired in place using the following procedure. Clean the shaft as in the previous repair. Undercut and roughen the repair area using a grinding stone or rotary file in an electric drill or air tool. When roughening, it is best to use a slow speed, as the desired result is a sandpaper-like finish, not a polished one which high speeds usually produce. Next, prepare a split sleeve which will be used to form the Belzona supermetal on the shaft. The former should be longer than the area to be repaired, and its inside diameter the same size as the shaft. Weep holes should be drilled at the parting line to allow excess supermetal to squeeze out. Coat all inside surfaces of the former with Belzona release agent. Be sure to include the weep holes and parting surfaces. Allow the release agent to dry 10 minutes. Mix sufficient supermetal and apply a generous amount to the shaft. Apply a thin film to the inside surfaces of the former, avoiding the portions which locate the former on the shaft. Press the two halves of the former onto the shaft and clamp firmly until they come together using hose or C-clamps. Remove all supermetal which oozes out. Allow the supermetal to cure. Separate and remove the formers. File, grind, or sand down the protrusions left by the weep holes. Carefully measure the shaft to check for high spots and dress down with emery cloth or a file as needed. Oversized bearing housings can also be addressed by either the machining or in-place options. The machining approach involves first cleaning and roughening the housing. Application is best done by putting the lathe spindle in neutral and turning the chuck by hand a few inches at a time. The supermetal is applied to the section of the housing brought into convenient position by each movement of the chuck. After cure, machine to dimension. To do the repair in place, first clean and prepare the housing as in the in-place shaft repair. Coat the outer surface of the bearing with Belzona release agent and let it dry. Mix sufficient Belzona supermetal and apply it to the worn housing. Apply a thin film to the outer surface of the bearing on top of the release agent. Insert the bearing into the housing and align using the original shaft, a dummy shaft, or a fixture. You may need to apply tape to the side of the bearing to prevent the Belzona supermetal from squeezing into the bearing. Remove the excess supermetal and allow to cure. When the housing is worn on only one side, simply clean, roughen, and apply supermetal to the worn portion. Then insert the bearing, which has been treated with release agent, aligning it using the unworn area of the housing. Remove the excess material and allow the supermetal to cure. This technique is equally effective for repairing worn bush housings on industrial machinery and heavy equipment such as backhoes and loaders, where supermetal gives excellent service under tremendous compressive loads. When two housings which must be kept in alignment are repaired, simply run a bar through both bushings and leave it in place until the supermetal cures. Worn keyways are the most common and easiest repairs to make with Belzona supermetal. First clean and roughen the worn keyway. Apply a coat of the Belzona release agent to a new key. Mix and spread a sufficient amount of supermetal on the worn sides of the keyway. Apply a thin coat of Belzona supermetal to the sides of the key and insert it into the keyway. Remove the excess material that oozes out. To assure alignment, place the sprocket or other component driven by the key on the shaft. Be careful not to swivel or move side to side. Make sure to coat the bore of the piece with release agent to avoid bonding it to the shaft. When time is of the essence, temporary emergency repairs can be made using Belzona Super E-Metal, which is also included in each repair system. This material attains full strength in minutes, keeping downtime to a minimum. For example, Super E-Metal can make rapid repairs to leaking pipes. When repairing leaks, use a piece of Belzona reinforcement tape from the repair system. Mix equal portions of Super E-Metal base and solidifier. Coat the piece of reinforcement tape with Super E-Metal and wrap it firmly around the prepared pipe. With Super E-Metal, you can also make fast repairs to fractured oil pans and stripped threads. There are literally dozens of repairs in every container of Belzona metal. The average cost of each repair shown in these demonstrations is around $20. Belzona trained technical consultants are available to answer your questions or provide assistance with your machinery and equipment repairs. The Belzona Machinery and Equipment Repair System. Fast and cost-effective repairs. Makes routine maintenance simple. Emergency repairs are permanent repairs. Reduces need for spare parts. Slashes downtime. Keeps production moving. Indefinite shelf life. Dimensionally stable. No shrinkage. Works on all metals. Quick delivery. Toll-free number for the Technical Information Center. For additional information on Belzona metals and other products for industry repairs and maintenance, contact Rumford Industrial Group, exclusive authorized distributor for Belzona at 1-800-336-2827. Belzona, the proven solution.